Hello students, this is the first video lecture of chapter 4 Structure of Atom, class 9 Science. So we have already gone through chapter 3 Atoms and Molecules. So in Atoms and Molecules we study basic things, some theories and the philosophies given by different philosophers. ठीक है, two philosophers, Maharishi Kannad and Bakuda Katyayama, and then Antoni Lavoisier, and all the philosophers and chemists combined their knowledge and gave us a very essential information regarding atoms, their discovery, okay, how the atoms were not divisible for Dalton, but in that there was one limitation from Dalton's theory, that atom can be further divided into electron, proton and neutron. So we have restricted that knowledge in a single point in that chapter, but today we would be elaborating that point. That means atom is further divisible. Okay, why it is divisible, how the particles are arranged inside the atom, that is the subatomic particles, what is their role, what is their charge, what is their mass, how they were discovered, what were the models given by different scientists. All these things we would be including in this chapter. Okay, in case if we start with introduction given in your textbook, which says that atoms and molecules are the fundamental building blocks of matter. Yes, obviously, we know that specifically atoms are the building blocks of the matter, as cells are the building blocks of living organism. Okay, this cell is also made up of atom. Every matter you found around yourself, and even you yourself are made up of atom. So atom is the smallest and the fundamental building block of matter. Now scientists were puzzled with these two questions, or we can say, before moving to the puzzling questions, we discuss what we would be understanding, or what problems would be solved by studying this chapter. So this chapter aims you to give answer regarding the first question, that what makes atom of one element different from the atom of another element. Okay, we take an element, let's suppose hydrogen. The atom of hydrogen and the atom of oxygen, they both are different. How come they are different? What is the difference? Both are atoms. Okay, so that we would be studying in detail. What else we would be studying is, what else the question would be solved is, says that are atoms really indivisible? Yes, we get the answer. Yes, they are indivisible. They are not able to further divide, as said by Maharishi Kannad. Am I correct? Am I correct? That atoms are not further divided. Atoms cannot be further divided. Okay? Atom is indivisible. And if you are saying yes, I would be saying no. And I would be also saying that you are not paying attention. Okay, so pay attention and listen to me carefully what I am trying to say, that are atoms really indivisible? No, they are divisible, and for that only we are studying this chapter. Since atom is divisible, atom is containing some subatomic particles. Subatomic particles यानी ऐसे particles जो atom से भी छोटे हैं. So they are present inside the atom. And are they indivisible? No. So we get the answer no. But how come? What is the proof? What are the experiments? What are that particles which are present inside the atom? How are they arranged inside the atom? All these things we would be studying one by one. Okay. Next is, now since Dalton's theory said that atoms are indivisible, but he was, since he was failed to explain the results of various experiments, Like for example, you know, when it was known that the substance like glass, okay, at that time that means before 1895 or before 1897, it was considered, you know, the basic properties of charges were known by the people, but they were not aware whether the atom contained those charged particles. They were, people at that time, people before 1897 were aware about the basic properties of charges, that, you know, like charges, like if positive charge comes in front of another positive charge, there would be repulsion, or if negative charge comes in front of any other negative charge, there would be repulsion. And if positive charge comes, you know, in front of negative charge, if positive charge comes in front of negative charge, there would be attraction. That says that like charges, same charges would repel, unlike charges, different charges would attract. So that basic properties regarding charges were known by the people, but they were not aware about the atoms which were containing these positive and negative charged particles. Apart from this, various experiments performed at that time, you know, were making a major question, that since atom does not contain any charge, atom is neutral, so how come, you know, these experiments were performed? See, the experiment was, we have already studied in class 8th, है ना, some natural phenomena wala chapter. In that, you know, it was known that the substances like glass, when rubbed with silk to generate electricity. So, you know, there was one activity of PVC rod along with wool cloth and glass rod along with silk cloth. If you are able to recall, you know, you consider one glass rod and rub it with silk cloth. What happens? The glass rod, by rubbing, that is charging by friction or charging by rubbing, it gets positively charged. Similarly, when I rubbed PVC rod with woolen cloth, by rubbing it acquires negative charge. And when I bring these two charged rods towards each other, they showed attraction. Something similar in case when you rub comb in dry hair, okay, for some time, and then you place this charged comb near the pieces of paper, the comb is able to attract that pieces of paper. Are you able to recall that experiment? You rub the comb on your hair for some time, dry hair, the condition is the hair should be dry. When you rub the comb on dry hair for some time, and then you try to make the comb come near the pieces of paper, the comb is able to attract the piece of paper because comb has charged. So comb is made up of atom. Since comb is charged, that means atoms are getting charged. How come the atoms are getting charged? There should be something inside atom which is making the atom charged. So that means there are some charged particles present inside the atom. So we would be discussing that. What were those atoms? So these were conflicting the theory of Dalton. Okay, by Dalton, you said that atom is, the smallest particle. Usse chota to kuch hai nahi. But after observing these experiments, their results, they came to know, or they, tried to make an assumption that something is, garbar with this atom. This atom is containing something. This atom is containing some charged particles which is responsible for charging the atom and ultimately charging the object. And that was related to static electricity. We have studied about electrostatic charges, okay, in class 8th. So I won't be, going in much detail because I know you are very intelligent enough and concepts regarding this are very clear to you. Okay. So I would be quickly moving to the next point, which says that fundamental particles of atoms are electrons, protons and neutrons. That means atom is further divided into subatomic particles, subatomic particles. They are also known as fundamental particles of atoms. They are also known as fundamental particles of atom. And what are those? Proton, electron and neutrons. Now, how do we come to know that these are the proton, electron, neutron? We also know the charge, we have discussed in chapter 3 that proton is positively charged, electron is negatively charged and neutron has no charge. How come I am saying like this? What is the proof for this? So this led to the discovery of electron. We would be first studying about discovery of electron and then discovery of proton. But that was in reverse case. Discovery of proton was done first and then the discovery of electron was held. But we would be starting with discovery of electron. Okay, doesn't matter in which year it happened. Okay, so discovery of electron was done in 1897 by J.J. Thomson. Okay, we have started with the next topic, that is charged particles in matter. Matter, that means actually atom. And atoms consist of charged particles. So we would be starting with one of the charged particles, that is discovery of electron. Okay, so if I talk about discovery of electrons, it was done in 1897 by whom? By scientist J.J. Thomson. So he performed an experiment. See, I would be going into a little bit detail about this experiment, how it was performed and how the discovery of electrons was done. But this is not mentioned in your NCERT textbook. Okay, so when after seeing this thing and all the extra things, you do not fast forward the video or you do not skip this portion, because this portion is very important. Okay, why? Because if you read the paragraph of this topic in textbook, they have mentioned single line regarding the experiment. Okay, if you understand the experiment, then and then only you would be able to understand the point which is written in textbook. That means textbook has not provided the complete information regarding that experiment. So while reading, okay, I would be insisting you to see this complete topic. You see this, you understand this, and then you again read the paragraph from the textbook. It would be more clear enough for you to understand. So to understand that topic, to understand that lines, you have to first understand the experiments performed by the scientists which led to the discovery of electrons. How can I say that electrons were discovered? What were the experiments? So the experiment was performed by J.J. Thomson. Now since when I talk about experiment does not takes place under one scientist. There is a collaborative work of different scientists. But it depends on the luck and it depends on the leadership. The name of the leader always arise in front of the public. So therefore this is not the effort of only J.J. Thomson, but many other collaborative scientists were there with him. Apart from this, Rutherford and many other famous scientists were involved in this experiment. But this experiment was famously referred with the name of J.J. Thomson. Okay, so in J.J. Thomson in 1897, he performed an experiment which was known as cathode ray discharge tube experiment, which was known as cathode ray discharge tube experiment. What is the reason why he named this experiment as cathode ray discharge tube experiment? We would be reaching to this name afterwards. First, we understand the term discharge tube. Now, discharge tube is a long glass tube having two metal rods connected to the oppositely charged poles of the battery. मैं इतना जल्दी read कर दिया, no problem. I would be making you see here. This is a discharge tube. This is a discharge tube. This is a discharge tube. To understand any definition, you break that sentence into words and try to collaborate with the diagram. Here in this case, see, discharge tube. It is something like tube. Okay. Is a long glass tube. It is a glass, transparent glass. You can observe this two. These two are metals. I would be, letting you know afterwards. So this is a transparent glass tube. It is long glass tube. Okay. Then having two metal rods. These are the two metal rods. 1, 2. And these two metal rods are connected to the oppositely charged poles of the battery. Since there are two opposite charge or two opposite poles in the battery, this is the negative pole, this is the positive pole. Okay. So since this metal is attached to the negative pole of the battery, it is having negative charge. It is having negative charge. So this negatively charged metal rod is known as cathode. This negatively charged metal rod is known as cathode. Since this metal rod is connected to the positive pole of the battery, it is known as anode, and it is known as positively charged metal rod. So anode is the positively charged metal rod and cathode is the negatively charged metal rod. Done? So this is the discharge tube. It's a transparent glass tube containing two metal rods connected to the two opposite poles. These are opposite poles, negative, positive, opposite poles of the battery. This battery is not a normal battery. This battery is, a very high voltage battery. You can consider it as a generator and is providing power of 10,000 volt. Okay, how or why? Because, in this experiment, this much amount of voltage or power is required to, make this experiment done. Reaching to this afterwards, again, a gas. So just a minute, I was saying that this experiment name is cathode ray discharge tube experiment. So I hope that the concept of discharge tube is clear, because in this experiment discharge tube is there. We have considered, the scientists have named this experiment as discharge tube. Now why cathode ray? Reaching to this, that a gas is filled in it. Koi bhi gas, any gas. Let's suppose, because nitrogen in our environment is abundant. Let us, for example, take nitrogen gas. Since nitrogen gas exists as N2, so N2 can I write N2 as N triple bond N? Okay, there exist 3 bonds between nitrogen. Or for simplicity, let us take hydrogen. Hydrogen gas. Okay, hydrogen gas exists as like this also. Okay, so let us not consider hydrogen, but let us not consider nitrogen, but let us consider hydrogen. Okay, so let us fill the hydrogen gas, since here they are asking to fill a gas at low pressure. So how can we maintain a low pressure? With the help of vacuum pump connected to the tube. Okay, so hydrogen gas, H single bond H, H single bond H, H single bond H. What does this show? That this is the hydrogen gas filled and at low pressure. Okay, how come we can create low pressure inside this tube? By help, with the help of this vacuum pump, we can adjust the pressure, and we can decrease the pressure inside the discharge tube. Okay, now when he was altering the pressure and voltage, he was looking for something else. He was looking for electricity. So in class 10th you would be studying in detail the flow of electric current. Like suppose we have already studied in class 7th in electricity and circuits wala chapter that let us take a bulb and let us take a battery. This is a simple closed or closed or complete circuit. Now the current would be flowing from, we know the direction, positive terminal would make the bulb glow to negative terminal. Why? Because the potential of positive charge is high. The potential of positive charge is high, and the potential of negative charge is low. So the charge is flowing from high potential to low potential. Okay. Now the direction of electron is like this. नेगेटिव से बाहर निकला, पॉजिटिव के पास गया. यानी the direction of electrons is like this, from low potential to high potential. So this is how the current flows. Current flows from high potential to low potential, and the direction of current is opposite to the direction of flow of electrons. Okay, so similarly here also flow of electron takes place when some small pressure is created and very high voltage is applied. So he was altering the pressure. He was first make the pressure equivalent to the room temperature, then he decreased and he decreased so much that it was equivalent to 10⁻⁻² atmosphere. Room temperature का pressure क्या होता है? 1 atmosphere. Nearly 1 atmosphere is the standard pressure of room temperature. Okay, or we can consider it as a standard pressure. But he moved to such a low pressure. So at such a low pressure and at such a high voltage, he was able to see a glow on the screen. Okay? He was actually he was saying that a ray was passing from cathode towards the anode, and this ray was responsible for making this zinc sulfide screen. This screen is made up of zinc sulfide. This started glowing. So when he was able, because this is a transparent tube, the glowing was seen. Okay? और ये जो ऐसा बोल रहा था कि भाई कैथोड में से एक रे निकली और वो एनोड से पास होके जिंक सल्फाइड पे स्ट्राइक करके उसने एक ग्लो प्रोड्यूस किया. ऐसा जे थॉमसन ने कहा. क्योंकि दिस रे इज इनविजिबल. ये रे इनविजिबल है. तो अब तुम बोलोगे कि इनविजिबल है तो जे थॉमसन को कैसे दिखी, या दूसरे साइंटिस्ट जो उसके साथ काम कर रहे थे, हाउ दे वर एबल टू ऑब्जर्व दिस रे. So this is because they assumed that since the anode is positively charged, remember, since this metal rod is attached to the positive terminal of battery, ठीक है, the metal rod is positively charged. So if something is flowing towards this positive charge, that means it is attracting towards positive charge. And what would be attracting towards this positively charged body? Obviously negatively. And they were knowing that this cathode is negatively charged. So this cathode ray was easily attracted towards this positive charge, and hence they named this experiment as cathode ray discharge tube experiment. By discharge tube experiment हमने लिया, उसमें cathode ray was flowing through this. It was able to pass through the anode and was able to strike to the zinc sulfide. बाद में उनको पता चला कि कैथोड रे करके कुछ होता नहीं है. That were the electrons which were flowing towards the zinc sulfide. तो ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं, ये इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कैथोड से नहीं आ रहे थे, या कोई कैथोड रे नहीं थी. लेकिन बाद में उन्हें पता चला कि जब उन्होंने ये जो गैस रखी थी, हाइड्रोजन मॉलिक्यूल, ये हाइड्रोजन एटम ही है ना, ये हाइड्रोजन एटम है, इसके पास इलेक्ट्रॉन है. तो जब इतना ज्यादा पावर उन्होंने दिया, इतना कम प्रेशर दिया, तो क्या हुआ कि इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो हाइड्रोजन के हैं वो बाहर निकल के आ गए. इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो हाइड्रोजन के हैं वो एटम से बाहर आ गए. और ये इलेक्ट्रॉन्स अब इसके पास तो नहीं जाएंगे. क्यों नहीं जाएंगे कैथोड के पास, बताओ. इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो हाइड्रोजन से बाहर निकले वो कैथोड के पास क्यों नहीं गए, एनोड के पास क्यों गए? क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर नेगेटिवली चार्ज. तो क्या वो कैथोड के पास जाएंगे जो नेगेटिव है? नहीं, बिकॉज नेगेटिव विल रिपेल. so they would be attracting towards the opposite charge, that is positive charge. तो ये कैथोड रे, सॉरी कैथोड है जो मेटल रॉड है, ये कैसा है, पॉजिटिवली चार्ज है. तो जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स ऑफ हाइड्रोजन जो है वो इसके पास जाएंगे और ये एनोड से पास होके जिंक सल्फाइड पे जाके स्ट्राइक करेंगे, ग्लो दिखाएगा, एंड दिस इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द डिस्कवरी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन. सो थ्रू एक्सपेरिमेंट्स इट वाज एस्टैब्लिश्ड that electrons are basic constituents of all atoms. अब मैंने all atoms क्यों बोला? Because ये जो हमने कैथोड रेज देखी वो सिर्फ हाइड्रोजन के साथ नहीं हुई. That means it does not depends on the material of electrode. ये जो इलेक्ट्रोड है, ये जो मेटल रॉड है, इस पे नहीं डिपेंड करेगा भाई ये मेटल रॉड किससे बना हुआ है. क्यों? क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन्स तो हाइड्रोजन के थे, इसमें से इलेक्ट्रॉन्स नहीं आ रहे थे, है ना. और इट डज नॉट डिपेंड ऑन द नेचर ऑफ गैस. कोई भी गैस डालो, तुम नाइट्रोजन डालो, हाइड्रोजन डालो, ऑक्सीजन डालो, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड डालो, कोई भी गैस डालो, उसके इलेक्ट्रॉन्स बाहर निकल रहे हैं. मतलब सारे गैसेस में कुछ ना कुछ है और वो क्या है, नेगेटिव चार्ज है. क्योंकि सारे गैस में, सारे मैटर में कोई चार्ज है, नेगेटिव चार्ज है. दिस लीड्स टू द डिस्कवरी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा वापस रिवाइज करते हैं क्या कह रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे हमने स्टार्ट किया डिस्कवरी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन से. ठीक है, डिस्कवरी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स में हमने क्या देखा कि भाई जे थॉमसन ने 1897 में इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को डिस्कवर किया. कैसे डिस्कवर किया? बाय परफॉर्मिंग कैथोड रे डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब एक्सपेरिमेंट. क्यों इसका नाम रखा गया वो तुम्हें बताया, डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब, क्योंकि इस एक्सपेरिमेंट में यूज की गई. क्या होती है डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब? एक ट्रांसपेरेंट ग्लास लॉन्ग ट्यूब होती है. ठीक है, ग्लास की बनी हुई होती है, लॉन्ग होती है, ट्रांसपेरेंट होती है. ये ट्यूब में दो मेटल रॉड्स होते हैं. एक मेटल रॉड पे नेगेटिव चार्ज होता है, एक मेटल रॉड पे पॉजिटिव चार्ज होता है. कैसे इन पे नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव चार्ज आता है? इट डिपेंड्स कि अगर मेटल रॉड नेगेटिव टर्मिनल ऑफ बैटरी से कनेक्टेड है तो उस पर नेगेटिव चार्ज आएगा, और ऐसे मेटल रॉड जिसपे के पास नेगेटिव चार्ज है मैं उसको क्या बोलूंगी, कैथोड. ऐसे मेटल रॉड जिसके पास पॉजिटिव चार्ज है उसको मैं क्या बोलूंगी, एनोड. तो एनोड क्या है? एनोड क्या है? पॉजिटिवली चार्ज्ड रॉड. पॉजिटिवली चार्ज्ड रॉड. कैथोड क्या है? कैथोड क्या है? नेगेटिवली चार्ज्ड रॉड. कैथोड इज नेगेटिवली चार्ज्ड रॉड. ठीक है, अब क्या होगा कि इसके अंदर क्या हमारा डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब आ गया, क्योंकि इसने डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब यूज की इसलिए एक्सपेरिमेंट का नाम डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब. ओके, इस ट्यूब के अंदर उसने गैस भरी. इस गैस का प्रेशर हम मेंटेन कर सकते हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ वैक्यूम पंप. इस डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब को बहुत हाई वोल्टेज वाली बैटरी के साथ कनेक्ट किया था. ठीक है, अब क्या हुआ, जैसे ही उसने 10,000 वोल्ट का पावर सप्लाई दिया, प्रेशर बहुत कम कर दिया, तब क्या हुआ कि कुछ यहाँ से पास हुआ और वो यहाँ पे जाके स्ट्राइक किया और यहाँ पे उनको ग्लो दिखाई दिया. क्योंकि उन्हें ऐसा लगा, पहले उन्हें ऐसा लगा कि भाई ये जो रेस है ये कैथोड में से आई, एनोड में से निकल नहीं सकती, क्योंकि एनोड के पीछे स्ट्राइकिंग हो रहा था. तो मतलब कुछ ना कुछ तो है जो कैथोड से निकल रहा है, और क्योंकि कैथोड नेगेटिव है इसलिए वो उसके पीछे ही जा रहा है. समझ आ रहा है? मतलब कैथोड रेज जो है वो नेगेटिवली चार्ज है. क्यों नेगेटिवली चार्ज बोला? क्योंकि वो एनोड की तरफ जा रही है जो पॉजिटिव है. पॉजिटिव की तरफ वही जाएगा जो नेगेटिव है, इसलिए उन्होंने बोला जो कैथोड रेस है वो नेगेटिवली चार्ज है. पर ऐसा नहीं था. बाद में उन्हें पता चला कि उन्होंने जो गैस फिल की थी ना अंदर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हाइड्रोजन, तो ये एटम के अंदर जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, क्योंकि इन्होंने बहुत ज्यादा पावर अप्लाई किया था, बहुत कम प्रेशर रखा था, तो इस एटम के अंदर जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स थे वो बाहर आ गए. अब जब ये नेगेटिव चार्ज इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एटम से बाहर आए तो वो किस तरफ जाएंगे, कैथोड के पास कि एनोड के पास. मैंने कहा कि इलेक्ट्रॉन नेगेटिवली चार्ज है तो वो ऑपोजिट चार्ज की तरफ अट्रैक्शन शो करेंगे, यानी वो एनोड के पास जाएंगे. वो इतना स्ट्राइकिंगली और बॉम्बार्डिंगली इफेक्ट से जाते हैं कि दे पेनिट्रेट थ्रू एनोड एंड स्ट्राइक्स द जिंक सल्फाइड स्क्रीन, and this results in the glow of zinc sulfide beam, and this proves, or this lead to the discovery of electrons. और क्योंकि अब ये ऐसा नहीं था कि सिर्फ हाइड्रोजन गैस के लिए था, और मान लो जब ये मेटल रॉड लिया वो आयरन का बना हुआ था तो सिर्फ आयरन के लिए लिया, नहीं, ये सब में हुआ। तुम कुछ भी लो, प्लेटिनम लो, पैलेडियम लो, कोई भी मेटल लो, कोई भी गैस लो, इट वाज सेम। जिंक सल्फाइड का जो स्क्रीन था वो ग्लो कर रहा था। दैट मीन्स सारे मैटर और गैसेस सबके पास, सब मैटर के एटम के पास इलेक्ट्रॉन्स थे। ओके, अब चार्ज ऑन इलेक्ट्रॉन, इलेक्ट्रॉन का चार्ज क्या है, -1.6 इंटू 10⁻⁻19 कूलम। तो जैसे डिस्टेंस का यूनिट क्या होता है, मीटर किलोमीटर, है ना। जैसे वेट का यूनिट क्या होता है, ग्राम किलोग्राम, ऐसे चार्ज का यूनिट होता है कूलम। कूलम वाज गिवन दिस यूनिट इन द रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ from the name of one of the scientists named Coulomb. Therefore the unit of charge is Coulomb. Next is mass of electron. कि भाई इलेक्ट्रॉन का मास क्या है, तो मास है इलेक्ट्रॉन का 9.1 इंटू 10⁻31 kg. Imagine NCERT also said that it has negligible mass. आराम से इसको नेग्लेक्ट कर सकते हो क्योंकि ये बहुत छोटा है, बिल्कुल ना के बराबर है, लेकिन है ना, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, ठीक है, दे आर हैविंग वेरी स्मॉल मास, ठीक है। चलो इलेक्ट्रॉन हो गया, तो साइंटिस्ट बोल रहे हैं कि एटम्स जो हैं वो इलेक्ट्रिकली न्यूट्रल है, ठीक है। जब तक हम उनको रब नहीं करते या उनके पास कोई चार्ज बॉडी नहीं लेके आते, चार्जिंग थ्रू कंडक्शन इंडक्शन, याद है ना, रबिंग कंडक्शन इंडक्शन, तो क्या होता था, रबिंग में रब करते थे तो चार्जेस का रीअरेंजमेंट होता था और चार्ज फ्लो करता था। कंडक्शन में हम चार्ज बॉडी अनचार्ज के पास ले आते थे और चार्जिंग होती थी, टच कराते थे तो चार्ज इधर से इधर फ्लो करता था। इंडक्शन में क्या करते थे, इंडक्शन में कि एक बॉडी चार्ज है एक बॉडी अनचार्ज है, लेकिन हम थोड़ा सा ही पास में लाते थे और चार्ज फ्लो करता था। कहने का मतलब ये है कि अगर एटम के पास नेगेटिव चार्ज है, इलेक्ट्रॉन है, तो कुछ तो होगा जो पॉजिटिव होगा, क्योंकि एटम तो न्यूट्रल है, यानी एटम पे चार्ज 0 है। 0 कब होगा, अगर -1 है, अगर मैं इसमें +1 करती हूँ तभी मुझे 0 मिलेगा। -1 +1, इसको मैं ऐसा भी लिख सकती हूँ 1 - 1। हमें नेगेटिव चार्ज पता चल गया, अब कुछ तो पॉजिटिव होगा जो उसका टोटल चार्ज 0 बना रहा है, तो वो क्या है, वो पॉजिटिव चार्ज को हम प्रोटॉन बोलते। तो वो तो हमने मतलब देख लिया है पहले, बट हाउ द डिस्कवरी ऑफ प्रोटॉन टुक प्लेस, इट वाज इन 1886 बिफोर द डिस्कवरी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन। इलेक्ट्रॉन का कब हुआ था, 1897। प्रोटॉन का डिस्कवरी हुआ था 1886 में बाय ई गोल्डस्टीन, ठीक है। प्रोटॉन का डिस्कवरी हुआ था इन 1886 बाय ई गोल्डस्टीन, ठीक है। अब इसमें भी सेम एक्सपेरिमेंट हुआ, सेम एक्सपेरिमेंट कैसे, डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब लिया, दिख रहा है ना डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब, क्या होता है डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब, क्या होता है डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब के एक ग्लास ट्यूब होती है लंबी सी, ट्रांसपेरेंट होती है, इसके 2 एंड्स पे 2 मेटल रॉड्स होते हैं। एक मेटल रॉड पे, बताओ ये मेटल रॉड पे कौन सा चार्ज होगा, ये बैटरी है, दिस इज नेगेटिव चार्ज, दिस इज पॉजिटिव चार्ज। सोच के आराम से बताओ कि इस मेटल रॉड पे कौन सा चार्ज होगा, तो क्योंकि ये जो टर्मिनल है ये नेगेटिव है, ये मेटल रॉड का चार्ज कैसा होगा, नेगेटिव। नेगेटिव मतलब कैथोड, नेगेटिवली चार्ज्ड, ठीक है। ये पॉजिटिव चार्ज है, पॉजिटिव चार्ज फ्लो करेगा, इस मेटल रॉड को पॉजिटिवली चार्ज्ड बनाएगा, इसलिए ये जो है ये है एनोड, दैट इज पॉजिटिवली चार्ज मेटल रॉड। अब इस बार क्या किया, इस बार जो जिंक सल्फाइड की स्क्रीन है वो किसके पीछे रखी, कैथोड के पीछे। डिस्कवरी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन में क्या था, जिंक सल्फाइड की स्क्रीन एनोड के पीछे रखी थी, यहाँ पे कैथोड के पीछे रखी है। अब क्या हुआ, सेम हुआ, इस बार इन्होंने पावर भी उतना ही दिया 10,000 वोल्ट, प्रेशर भी उतना रखा 10⁻⁻² एटमॉस्फेयर, और कोई भी अंदर गैस फिल कर दी। Vacuum pumps they were able to maintain the pressure, such a low pressure. Okay, now what happened कि यहाँ पे जो गैस डाली थी वो गैस में से ऑलरेडी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स निकाल दिए गए थे, तो अब क्या होंगे, प्रोटॉन्स होंगे. अब क्या होंगे, प्रोटॉन्स होंगे. ये प्रोटॉन्स, ठीक है, यहाँ से क्योंकि पावर हमने इतना अप्लाई किया, हमने इतना प्रेशर मेंटेन रखा, तो अब ये जो आयंस है ये इधर स्ट्राइक कर रहे थे, ये इधर स्ट्राइक कर रहे थे, और ये इस जिंक सल्फाइड स्क्रीन को ग्लो करा रहे थे, ये इस जिंक सल्फाइड स्क्रीन को ग्लो करा रहे थे. अब जब इनको देखे तो इन्होंने देखा कि ये रेस है, इनको रेस, ये रेस भी इनविजिबल थी, उन्हें लगा कि दिस इज एनोड रे. ठीक है, इसलिए इन्होंने नाम दिया एनोड रे डिस्चार्ज ट्यूब एक्सपेरिमेंट, या एनोड रेस को उन्होंने कैनाल रेस भी कहा, या पॉजिटिवली चार्ज रेस का. क्यों इन्हें मैं पॉजिटिवली चार्ज रेस बोलूंगी, क्योंकि दे आर गेटिंग अट्रैक्टेड टुवर्ड्स नेगेटिवली चार्ज मेटल रॉड, और वो इससे पेनिट्रेट होकर जिंक सल्फाइड को ग्लो कर रही. तो सेम एक्सपेरिमेंट हुआ, डिफरेंस वाज द प्लेसमेंट ऑफ जिंक सल्फाइड रिंग. ठीक है, जो स्क्रीन जो है वो अब कैथोड के पीछे आ गई, बस दैट वाज द डिफरेंस. तो इतना ज्यादा वी वोंट बी मूविंग इनटू डेप्थ, but the things which you have to remember, no one would be asking you in exam about this experiment कि भाई क्या लिया, किसने कैसे किया. no, the thing is, अब जब तुम वो पैराग्राफ पढ़ोगे, ये वाला चार्ज पार्टिकल्स इन मैटर टेक्स्ट बुक का, तो मस्त समझ में आएगा और मजा भी आएगी, है ना. सो द थिंग आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड इज दैट इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है उसका चार्ज क्या है, -1.6 इंटू 10⁻⁻19 कूलम, जबकि चार्ज ऑन प्रोटॉन इज 1.6 इंटू 10⁻⁻19 कूलम. यानी अगर मैं इसको नियरली 1 इंटू 10⁻⁻19 कूलम कहते हैं, यानी इसके पास 1 है तो इसके पास -1 इंटू 10⁻⁻19 कूलम है. यानी क्या कि एग्जैक्टली अपोजिट चार्ज है, सेम चार्ज बट अपोजिट. But mass of proton is, according to NCERT textbook, is 2000 times greater than mass of electron. ये mass of proton है. It is 2000 times greater than electron. ठीक है, and it is 1.6 into 10⁻27 kg. सोचो ये इतना छोटा है और इससे भी 2000 times smaller the mass of electron. तो ये कितना छोटा होगा, है ना. सो ये कितना कम मास है, तो इसलिए हम इसको नेग्लेक्ट करेंगे. सो दिस वाज द बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन रिगार्डिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एंड प्रोटॉन्स एंड देयर डिस्कवरीज. ठीक है, तब ये तो हमने बात कर ली कि मतलब इसमें इलेक्ट्रॉन होता है, ये प्रोटॉन होता है, लेकिन ये अरेंज कैसे है एटम के अंदर. ठीक है, वो अब हम कुछ मॉडल्स देखेंगे तो उसमें हमें पता चलेगा कि कैसे ये जो सब एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स हैं, दीज आर अरेंज्ड इनसाइड द एटम. सो टू नो द अरेंजमेंट ऑफ the subatomic particles inside the atom, certain models were given by different scientists. Okay, अलग अलग मॉडल्स दिए गए, बट ओनली वन वॉज accepted by the people. Okay, we would be looking into different or the major models given by scientists, and which one was accepted by the people, that we would be discussing. So first model was given by J.J. Thomson. Since the model was given by J.J. Thomson, therefore Thomson's model. Yes, this is the one, this is the same one who expanded the knowledge regarding electrons. Yes, he was, he discovered the electrons with that cathode ray discharge tube experiment. He is the same one. So he gave Thomson's model. Now what does this Thomson's model, or what did J.J. Thomson proposed by giving this model is, an atom consists of a positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it. Like for example, if we consider an atom, so an atom consists of positively charged sphere. So this is sphere which is positively charged. Okay, the dot here represents positive charge and the electrons are embedded in it. That means the electrons are present inside the atom. So this negative charge are present between this positively charged sphere. This is something J.J. Thomson thinks and he proposed the model. The negative charge and positive charge are equal in magnitude. That means the amount of positive charge is equal to the amount of negative charge. Although the charge is not the same, this is, if suppose this is +1, so this is -1, but the amount or the magnitude is same. So it is saying the same thing, that the negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude. So the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. So about neutrality I have already discussed. So I won't be going in much detail or won't be wasting time once again in explaining this. But electrically neutrality means the amount of positive charge is equal to amount of negative charge. He said this. Okay. So his model is popularly known as Christmas pudding, where the pudding as a whole is positively charged and the currents, that means the dry fruits present in that Christmas pudding is acting as electrons. तो वो जो electrons जो बीच में currents है pudding में, that are electrons, something like this. Or else watermelon model में जो वो red color का fleshy part होता है, juicy part, that is the positive sphere of that atom and the black seeds are the electrons. You can also consider it as a plum pudding model, where the plums in the pudding are acting as electrons. In apple pie model, the pieces of apple or any other dry fruits or any other present, the things which are hindering in that dessert is acting as the electrons, and the complete sphere is acting as a positively charged sphere. So this was given by J.J. Thomson. Now what was the limitation of this model? Why this model was not accepted by the people is, limitation was that he was able to explain that atom is electrically neutral. The neutrality of atom, the explanation of this was absolutely correct by J.J. Thomson. What was the limitation? That it results, the results of experiments carried out by other scientists were not explained by this model. That means, the further more experiments, as I said at that time, many scientists were performing and many scientists were assuming different models of atom. So some results of experiments of other scientists, some scientists were doing some experiments and they were getting some results, and these results were not explained by J.J. Thomson. Okay, so this was the limitation of J.J. Thomson. But electrically neutrality, or we can say the atom's neutrality, electrical neutrality, is very well explained by him. Next is Rutherford's model. So in this experiment, a narrow beam of alpha particles was allowed to strike a thin gold foil. So Rutherford model, he take a thin gold foil, and this thin gold foil was so thin that it was made up of 1000 atoms thick only. It was 1000 atoms thick only. So you consider, you see, I am calculating the number of atoms, only 1000 atoms. That means very thin foil. thin foil of gold. Now he made strike the alpha particles on this gold foil. So the alpha particles are, alpha particle is basically helium. Helium has 2 atomic number and its mass is 4. Okay, yes, we have already discussed this in atoms and molecules. Okay, now what were the expectation? In experiment, he want to make alpha particles strike on the gold foil. Okay, suppose this is gold foil. He want to make strike of alpha particles on the gold foil. Okay, what he was expecting from this experiment? He was expecting that alpha particles would be deflected by subatomic particles present inside the gold atoms. Gold atoms के अंदर मान लो this are the 2-3 atoms of gold. So he thought that since the atoms are, the subatomic particles are spread, because he was not aware of the arrangement, he wanted to, list out that arrangement only. So he was performing that experiment. So he expected कि भाई कुछ मैं ऐसा अल्फा पार्टिकल पास कराऊंगा, यहाँ पे सब एटॉमिक पार्टिकल है ना, तो ये डिफ्लेक्शन शो करेगा, ये ऐसा डिफ्लेक्शन शो करेगा, या ये ऐसा आके वापस यही पाथ को रिट्रेस करेगा, कुछ ऐसा होगा. सो ही वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग लाइक दिस. और उसने ज्यादा डिफ्लेक्शंस, मच लार्जर डिफ्लेक्शंस देखने की उसने वो सोचा नहीं था. उसने कहा कि क्योंकि हीलियम बहुत ज्यादा हेवी पार्टिकल है, हीलियम और अल्फा पार्टिकल इज वेरी हेवी, सो द डिफ्लेक्शन अगर होगा भी तो इतना ज्यादा नहीं होगा, पर ज्यादा हुआ. ठीक है, ऑब्जर्वेशंस क्या थे कि मोस्ट ऑफ द अल्फा पार्टिकल्स पास थ्रू द गोल्ड फॉइल अनडिफ्लेक्टेड. सीधे ऐसे निकल गए. देखो ये दिख रहा है, सीधे निकल गए, सीधे निकल गए, है ना. नेक्स्ट ऑब्जर्वेशन क्या था कि वेरी फ्यू पार्टिकल्स डिफ्लेक्टेड. मतलब कि पॉजिटिव चार्ज है एटम में, लेकिन वो बहुत कम स्पेस ऑक्यूपाई करते हैं. एटम की आधे से ज्यादा एम्प्टी स्पेस है. एटम इज मोस्टली एम्प्टी. ठीक है, तो इसलिए बहुत सारे जो भी अल्फा पार्टिकल्स हैं वो कैसे गए, अनडिफ्लेक्टेड गए. लेकिन कुछ ने डिफ्लेक्शन शो किया. तो जब मान लो कि यहाँ पे आया और ये ऐसा डिफ्लेक्शन दिखाया, यहाँ पे सब एटॉमिक पार्टिकल आया और इसने डिफ्लेक्शन दिखाया. ठीक है, मतलब ऐसा डायरेक्शन फिर यहाँ पे, ठीक है, ऐसा डायरेक्शन फिर यहाँ पे, तो ऐसा डिफ्लेक्शन दिखाया. नेक्स्ट क्या कि इवन लेसर नंबर ऑफ पार्टिकल्स, दैट मीन्स 1 out of every 12,000 पार्टिकल्स. तब ऐसा होता था कि मान लो ये तुम्हारा गोल्ड फॉइल है, तुमने अल्फा पार्टिकल रे को पास कराया और उसने गलती से सेंटर पे जाके स्ट्राइक किया, वापस से आया, मतलब वो ऐसे गया और 180 डिग्री से वापस डिफ्लेक्ट हुआ. ऐसे बहुत कम हुआ, मतलब 12,000 पार्टिकल्स में से सिर्फ एक में ऐसा दिखता था 180 डिग्री का डिफ्लेक्शन. दैट मीन्स पॉजिटिव चार्ज जो है वो बहुत कम स्पेस ऑक्यूपाई कर रहा है एटम में. ये सब डेटा कंसीडर करते करते रदरफोर्ड ने ये भी बताया कि रेडियस ऑफ जो न्यूक्लियस है वो 10⁵ टाइम्स लेस देन द रेडियस ऑफ एटम. दैट मीन्स जो न्यूक्लियस है वो बहुत छोटा है. मैंने कहा ना कि एटम और न्यूक्लियस का मतलब कभी भी हम एटम्स का चैप्टर 3 एटम्स एंड मॉलिक्यूल्स में कहा था कि कभी भी हम एटम्स का साइज अगर हमें मेजर करना है, सो वी वुड बी कंसीडरिंग द रेडियस ऑफ द एटम. सिमिलरली अगर मुझे यहाँ पे कंपेयर करना है साइज ऑफ न्यूक्लियस विद द साइज ऑफ एटम, आई वुड बी कंसीडरिंग द रेडियस. So the radius of nucleus is 10⁵ times less than the radius of atom. Clear? Next क्या? Nuclear model of atom. With the help of these observations, with the help of this experiment, he gave a nuclear model that there is positively charged center in an atom called nucleus. So nucleus was, discovered by Rutherford. Nearly all mass of the atom resides in the nucleus. Nucleus ही है which is majorly responsible for that mass of the particular atom. ठीक है, तो पॉजिटिव चार्ज भी सेंटर में ऑक्यूपाई है और उसका आधा से ज्यादा मास यानी ऑलमोस्ट ऑल मास रिसाइड्स इन द सेंटर ऑफ द एटम दैट इज इनसाइड द न्यूक्लियस. नेक्स्ट, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स रिवॉल्व अराउंड द न्यूक्लियस इन वेल डिफाइंड ऑर्बिटल्स. तो उसने कुछ एटम का कहा कि भाई ये पॉजिटिवली चार्ज जो भी है वो न्यूक्लियस के अंदर प्रेजेंट है, सेंटर में है और बहुत स्मॉल स्पेस ऑक्यूपाई करती है और इसके आसपास इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एक अच्छे से वेल डिफाइंड ऑर्बिटल्स में मूव कर रहे हैं. साइज ऑफ न्यूक्लियस इज वेरी स्मॉल कंपेयर्ड टू साइज ऑफ एटम. वो कितना? सो ही ऑलरेडी gave this information using the data he get from by performing his experiment. Okay, now what were the limitations of Rutherford? इतना अच्छा उसने दिया, वो सब न्यूक्लियस के बारे में बताया, पॉजिटिव चार्ज के बारे में भी सही बताया, जो आधा से ज्यादा मास है या ऑल मास जो पूरा मास है एटम का वो न्यूक्लियस में ही रिसाइड करता है. दिस ऑल थिंग्स वर करेक्ट. लिमिटेशन क्या है कि वो एटम की स्टेबिलिटी को नहीं समझा पाए. क्या? Rutherford was not able to explain the stability of atom. So if a charged particle like for example electron shows acceleration in electric and magnetic field, यहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड क्रिएट हो, ये एटम है, ये आपका न्यूक्लियस है, न्यूक्लियस के अंदर पॉजिटिव चार्ज प्रोटॉन है और ये हमारा हो गया इलेक्ट्रॉन. तो इलेक्ट्रॉन किसके फील्ड में घूम रहा है? पॉजिटिव चार्ज फील्ड में, है ना. ये अट्रैक्ट कर रहा है ना इलेक्ट्रॉन को, ये इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड हो गई. तो चार्ज पार्टिकल, ठीक है, शोस एक्सिलरेशन, मूव कर रहा है, एक्सिलरेट कर रहा है इन द इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड ऑफ अनदर बॉडी. प्रोटॉन की इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड में एक्सिलरेट कर रहा है. तो चांसेस है क्योंकि वो दूसरे के फील्ड में मूव कर रहा है, एक्सिलरेट कर रहा है एक चार्ज पार्टिकल, तो चांसेस है कि वो अल्टीमेटली एनर्जी लूज कर देगा और उसका रेडियस छोटा होता जाएगा एंड इट्स पाथ बिकम स्पाइरल और फिर वो अल्टीमेटली इधर आके घिर जाता है यानी न्यूक्लियस में घिर जाता है एंड दिस बिकम्स अनस्टेबल. दैट मीन्स एटम इज अनस्टेबल. क्या कह रहा है? तो इलेक्ट्रॉन जब मूव कर रहा है तो यहाँ पे अंदर इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स लग रहा है और बाहर सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स लग रहा है. जैसे हमने ग्रेविटेशन में पढ़ा हुआ है कि मान लो कि हमने एक स्ट्रिंग लिया, हमने एक स्टोन टाई किया, ठीक है, टाई अ स्टोन एट वन एंड ऑफ द स्ट्रिंग, you hold the string from another hand, you rotate the string very fast. एक टाइम आएगा कि वो स्ट्रिंग हाथ से छूट के स्टोन कोई टेंजेंशियली फ्लाई ओवर हो जाएगा. मतलब सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स बहुत ज्यादा बाहर की तरफ लग रहा था, तो बाहर की तरफ सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स लग रहा है, अंदर कौन खींच रहा है? यहाँ पे मैं घुमा रही तो फोर्स अंदर कौन लगा रहा है? मैं. हियर अंदर इज न्यूक्लियस, तो न्यूक्लियस का फोर्स ज्यादा है इसलिए इलेक्ट्रॉन बाहर न जाके अंदर आके गिर जाता है. कैसे? तो कुछ ऐसा होता है, ऐसा कुछ होता है, यानी ये इलेक्ट्रॉन ऐसा 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 आके अंदर घिर जाएगा. ठीक है, ये यहां से ऐसे गया और ये अंदर आके गिर गया. क्यों गिरा? क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक अट्रैक्शन उसको अपने तरफ खींचता है. क्यों खींचता है? क्यों अनस्टेबल है? क्योंकि ये चार्ज पार्टिकल इसके आसपास घूम रहा है और वो अल्टीमेटली अपनी एनर्जी लूज करता है जिसकी वजह से रेडियस जो है पहले इतना था, फिर इतना हो जाता है, फिर और कम और अल्टीमेटली वो न्यूक्लियस पे आके गिर जाता है. ठीक है, तो ऐसा तो नहीं है. अगर ये अनस्टेबल है, अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन आके न्यूक्लियस पे गिर जाएगा मतलब एटम जैसी कोई चीज ही नहीं है. तो हमने तो ऐसा, ये तो क्या है, हमारी थियरी को कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट कर रही है जो बहुत सालों पहले महर्षि कन्नड और पकुदा कट्टे हमें ये सब देके गए. क्या देके गए? कि एटम जो है इज अ बेसिक बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक ऑफ मैटर. अगर एटम ही नहीं है तो मैटर ही नहीं है, लेकिन हम देख रहे हैं हमारे आसपास मैटर है, हम देख रहे हैं कि वो एटम से बना हुआ है। तो स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ एटम, मतलब एटम, और ये सब जान के हमें इतना पता है कि एटम इज स्टेबल बिकॉज वी आर एबल टू सी मैटर वेरी इजीली अराउंड अस। तो एटम तो स्टेबल है, पर ये ऐसी थियरी अनस्टेबिलिटी को बढ़ावा दे रही है। दैट मीन्स देयर इज अनस्टेबिलिटी ऑफ एटम अकॉर्डिंग टू रदरफोर्ड. Rutherford was not able to explain the stability of atom. Therefore, Rutherford's model was also rejected. So now the next model, arrived. So to overcome, the stability of atom was not explained by Rutherford. So to overcome that limitation, posed in the Rutherford's model of atom, Bohr gave some theory and Bohr gave his model. Not exactly we can say model, but Niels Bohr, okay, was he was able to explain the stability of atom, and he found success in explaining the stability of atom, which Rutherford was not able to. How come? So he gave two postulates, that only certain special orbits known as discrete orbits of electrons are allowed inside the atom. So there are discrete orbits inside the atom. So this you are observing is nucleus. This is the first orbital, which is also known as K, or we can represent it with number 1. This second is L, can be represented as 2. Third one is M, can be represented as 3, and fourth one is N, can be represented as 4. Okay, so these are the orbits in which the electrons are arranged. How the electrons are arranged in the orbit is the next topic, but he explained that these electrons are arranged in the atom in a fixed orbits. While revolving in discrete orbits, the electrons do not radiate energy. As we said, in Rutherford's model, since the electron is moving, is accelerating, therefore it is able to radiate energy, और वो एनर्जी की वजह से it ultimately loses energy and falls into the nucleus. But while an electron is moving in a particular orbit in atom, this theory doesn't work. The electron do not loses energy. Yes, the electrons always move in certain stationary orbits. These are the orbits, okay, which have fixed energy. The energy of this particular orbits is fixed. Like the innermost, the K has the lowest energy. K has the lowest energy, while N, the last one, is having the highest energy. So as we move far from the nucleus, the energy of the orbit increases. The I mean to say is, that every orbit has a certain fixed energy, okay, and when the electron is revolving in its orbit, मान लो कि the electron is revolving in this orbit only. The electron is revolving in this orbit only. That means the electron is revolving in its orbit only. That means the energy is fixed. अपने fixed energy में move कर रहा है, मतलब वो अपने ground state में है. Okay. मान लो कहीं से कोई energy आती है, तो क्या होगा कि वो इलेक्ट्रॉन एनर्जी को एब्जॉर्ब करेगा, क्योंकि उसके पास ज्यादा एनर्जी आ गई, तो वो ये लो एनर्जी में तो मूव नहीं कर सकता. सो इट वुड बी जंपिंग टू द नेक्स्ट ऑर्बिट. सेकेंड, पहले फर्स्ट में था, अब सेकेंड में आ जाएगा वो इलेक्ट्रॉन और वो मूव करेगा. क्योंकि वो सेकेंड में आया है और वो इलेक्ट्रॉन की इनिशियल वाली ओरिजिनल एनर्जी नहीं है, वो अनस्टेबल हो जाता है, इसलिए फिर से वो एनर्जी जो उसने एक्स्ट्रा एनर्जी ली वो वापस वो लूज करता है और ग्राउंड स्टेट में आ जाता है. समझ आ रहा है? सो ये ग्राउंड स्टेट वाला तो यू वुड बी स्टडिंग मोर डिटेल इन हायर स्टैंडर्ड्स. द थिंग इज Bohr was get success in explaining the stability of atom that an electron cannot lose its energy. वो लूज नहीं कर सकता, जैसे हमने कहा था कि क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन मूव कर रहा है, एक्सिलरेट कर रहा है, सो अल्टीमेटली इट वुड रेडिएट इट्स एनर्जी और लूज इट्स एनर्जी, बट दिस इज नॉट द थिंग जब तक वो एक पर्टिकुलर ऑर्बिट में घूम रहा है, एंड हेंस इट कैन नॉट फॉल इनटू द न्यूक्लियस बाय लूजिंग एनर्जी. ओके, सो अगर वो अपने ही पर्टिकुलर ऑर्बिट में मूव कर रहा है तो वो एनर्जी लूज नहीं करेगा. समझ आ रहा है? सो अनस्टेबिलिटी की तो बात ही नहीं आती है. देयर इज ऑलवेज स्टेबिलिटी. ओके, एंड द एटम इज ऑलवेज स्टेबल. नेक्स्ट इज अबाउट न्यूट्रॉन्स. ओके, we have already discussed two subatomic particles. What are those? Those are, we started with electrons, we moved with protons. Now another subatomic particle left to discuss are the neutrons. So you are very well aware of these atoms, that neutrons were discovered by J. Chadwick in 1932. These subatomic particles do not have any charge. Like electron has negative charge, proton have positive charge, but neutrons have no charge. Okay, mass of neutron is nearly half the mass of proton as mentioned in textbook. Neutrons are present in the nucleus of atom. Exception is hydrogen. You won't be getting neutron in the nucleus of hydrogen. In fact, there is no neutron in hydrogen. So this is the exception. But rest in all cases, the neutron of all other atoms apart from hydrogen are found in the nucleus of the atom. Neutrons are represented by small n, like we represent proton as p plus, electron as small e minus. Similarly, neutron are represented simply by n. Okay, क्योंकि इस पर चार्ज जीरो है, no need to write zero, only n. Okay, next is mass of atom. So if I say mass of atom, so according to one of the conclusions or observations, or you can say postulate given by Rutherford, which says that all the mass of atom resides in the nucleus of the atom. So mass of atom is the mass of nucleus. Nucleus contains two subatomic particles, that is mass of protons plus mass of neutrons plus mass of neutrons. Okay, so if I want to calculate the mass of atom, I have to simply calculate the mass of protons and neutrons in the atom of that, in the nucleus of that particular atom. Okay, to calculate the mass of atom, I need to add the mass of proton with the mass of neutrons present in the nucleus of that particular atom. So we can do a comparative study of subatomic particles which we discussed today. So first subatomic particle, we started with electrons. We can represent electron as small e. You can sometimes give this charge. The charge of electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Is this charge correct? If you flip off the pages from which from the notes which I have made you would check this charge. Is this charge correct? If you are saying yes, then you are wrong, because you have to put a negative sign. This is negative charge. You do not have to see the magnitude, but the charge minus 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Okay, mass 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. So mass is negligible. Nature is negative. Electron is negative. Where is electron found inside the atom? It is found outside the nucleus. Outside the nucleus in orbits. There are orbits and the electrons are present on those orbits. Who was the discoverer of electrons? J.J. Thomson. Am I correct? Yes, of course. Next is protons. Symbol of proton is small p. Sometimes you can place positive charge. What is the charge on proton? 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Same charge, but only the sign is exactly opposite. Okay, mass 1.65 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg is the mass of proton. This is the mass. Okay, nature is positive. It is found inside the nucleus. Protons are present inside the nucleus. Who was the discoverer? E. Goldstein was the discoverer of protons. Neutrons is represented by small n. Since it is having no charge, mass is nearly half of the proton as mentioned in NCERT textbook, but exactly it is 657 if I am not wrong into 10 raised to minus 27 kg. No charge, so nature is neutral. It is also found inside the nucleus, and the discoverer of neutrons was J. Chadwick in the year 1932. So J. Chadwick. You can add another column of years. Electrons were discovered in 1897, protons were discovered in 1886, and neutrons were discovered in 1932. So this is how you can make a table and remember the key points of the certain charge, mass, or discoverer, or nature, or location where they are found and in which year they were discovered. On the basis of this you can make a table and learn this. Apart from this, today we discussed 3 models. Rutherford model. Okay, we started with the Thomson's model, moved down to Rutherford model. We see the observations, his expectations, and what were the limitations, and then we moved down to Bohr's model, who was successful in overcoming the limitations posed by the Rutherford's model. And then we talked about neutrons, and we make a comparative study of these 3 subatomic particles, that is electrons, protons, and neutrons. So in the next class we would be starting with the topic that we said that the electrons are arranged in the orbits, and these orbits have fixed energies. These are also known as energy levels, or you can say shells. Okay, these are also referred as shells. KLMN. These are the shells or discrete orbits, or you can say energy levels. So how these electrons are arranged in these energy levels, we would be starting with that topic, and we would be moving further in this chapter.